No.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Depending on where you are.
Where you are.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We're
They
back.
say you start to get more like the person you're around a lot.
That's a terrible
Yeah.
thing.
Well, for me. Not for you.
Oh, that's a mess. So, hey guys, we wanted to come back on and today talk a little bit more about sleep, but more particularly about the belief that some people say they're not a morning person. I'm just not a morning person. It's just not my thing.
One quick caveat. Who are we? And who are you and who am I?
Oh, yeah.
And what do we do?
Let's introduce ourselves just in case.
Just in case you haven't watched it before.
So, in case you haven't watched any of our videos
All one of
or
them.
follow our page, my name is Melissa.
And I'm Gregory.
And we are basically Rise Conscious Fitness, and we help people getting healthier. We work on fitness, mindset, and nutrition. So, our whole work, revolve around metabolism and getting people healthy in the first place. So, yes, we work with physical results and all of this, but we always make sure that it has to be done without jeopardizing your metabolism and your health. So,
Yeah, that's good.
in a nutshell. All right, that's awesome. So, today we wanted to kind of talk about some of those beliefs around sleep, because that's a conversation we have a lot with clients. I mean, sleep is always, it's underrated nowadays. And we also are very aware as health coaches that how sleep is important when it comes to your health and your physical results and everything. It encompasses so many things. So we wanted to touch on that today, because these are simple things that you can do. You can start doing today, creating better habits to help you get healthier, feel better about yourself, or getting better results in the gym, or whatever your goal is, right? Because altogether, we need to create that foundation first. And that foundation comes from fueling your body properly, regulating blood sugar, which we talked about in a previous video, getting proper sleep, proper movement in your life, and the whole thought process and mindset as well.
Yeah, not just better habits, but maybe a different perspective that you're not thinking of when it comes to why you're not a morning person.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they can't hear us
I don't know.
if it's on mute?
I hope you guys can hear.
That would suck.
I think they
We'll
heard
find
that.
out on the replay.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So, so let's get started. All right. So we're not going to dive into sleep altogether, just sleep, but we're going to talk about this concept or this myth about why you're not a morning person first, and then we'll see where this leads.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
You
not
wanna
a
start?
morning person.
I'm not a morning person. Okay, so this is something we hear a lot, and really the answer to this is you're not a morning person because you're not getting sleep, good sleep. Okay, it's really simple, but for a lot of people it's like, no, but it's just always been me, right? So let's talk about what happens with sleep and why you're not a morning person, because obviously most people that are not morning persons are either people that are night owls, right? In the morning, they tend to stay up late certain hours, and so that's a very, depending on what happens in their sleep patterns, their quality of sleep. A lot of times that's what happens, and that's the reason why people are saying, well, I'm not a morning person, right?
Yeah, the majority of the time, a client comes in, or a person who asks about, working out. Well, when you go into bed? 12, 1. Well, no shit, you're not a morning person. I wouldn't be a morning person if I had to go to bed so late.
Yeah.
You're recovering when you sleep, and at different times of the night, you physically repair and you mentally repair. So if you're compromising your sleep in any way, for a number of different reasons, either nutrition or you're just staying up late, you're gonna impede your ability to recover and feel good when you wake up. You're not gonna be as restful. Yeah.
I mean, you can't be a morning person if you're not getting good sleep.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And this is the majority of people that we work with come in here thinking like they get pretty decent sleep. It's kind of like nutrition. Oh, I eat fairly healthy. Until we start diving and asking questions, and really most people aren't getting good sleep. This is the average person nowadays. And unfortunately, some of it is because of society, and there's so many I guess like cultural pressure around, if you work late at night, you're such a hard worker, and people get like rewards for like cutting their sleep, and it's very common in our society, unfortunately. But the good amount of hours of sleep that people should be getting at night is 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and most people aren't getting that, or they're closer to 5 to 7 hours. This is like the average of hours of sleep that we see in people.
Yeah, or they're getting it, but they're getting it at the wrong hours.
That's it. So the next thing is, most people say, yeah, I get 8 hours of sleep every night, but what time you go to bed at midnight and wake up at 8? Well, it's not the same. So it's not just how many hours of sleep you're getting. So yes, we recommend 7 to 9 hours, and it depends on the person. Sometimes you need more than that. If you're in a healing process, if you're dealing with health issues, if you're going through a stressful times, you might need more sleep. So sleep will also vary based on what's happening in your life and your health state and all of that. But the other thing too, number 2, that he said is, what time are you getting those hours of sleep? Because if you're sleeping 8 hours during the day, it's not the same as sleeping 8 hours during the night, right? That's number 1. And number 2, there are some specific hours at which your body has different stages of recovery. So psychological repair and physical repair throughout the night. So the best hours to be actually asleep are between approximately 10 p.m. at night until 6 a.m. In the morning. Unfortunately, most people go to bed nowadays because we have artificial lights, we have computers, we have TVs, we have cell phones, even more now, social media, whatever distraction we have, and it just keeps us like up later, right? So most people get to bed 11, 11:30, midnight, the average person. So if you're constantly getting up at 6 a.m. and you go to bed at like 11, over time it really makes a big difference into your energy, your stress hormones, which is going to also disrupt your eating habits, and then even more disrupt your sleeps, further down the line, because it's like a vicious cycle, right?
And the most important thing, your results in the gym. You won't get the body you want. You'll accumulate fat, especially around the stressful, sites in the body, like the stomach.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because sleep will actually, so when you don't get proper sleep, proper good quality sleep, you actually keep your stress hormones higher, especially cortisol and so forth. And these are responsible a lot of times for weight gain over time, especially around the midsection. So people are struggling with losing their belly or or like the people that are doing everything. They eat very well, we work with nutrition, they get in the gym consistently, they work hard, they're still not getting results. A lot of times it goes back to what kind of sleep quality they have. So that's something that we don't want to be overlooking, because unfortunately a lot of us do overlook. We keep pushing through, right? We function on stress hormones because we're not getting enough sleep, and then at some point the body just doesn't work anymore. So
yeah, you're under eating, which is stressful. You're working, you're always running around, which is more stressful. You're not living for yourself or giving yourself moments or time for yourself. And then you're getting more stressed at night because you're staying up late trying to find that time for yourself.
Yep.
And it's just a vicious cycle, perpetuating.
Yeah, and it causes more stress, and then you become more reactive to things that happens to you, and then your mental state is not the same, so it affects everything.
Yeah, you freak out.
So let's talk about what we can do to improve your sleep. And by the way, a good quality sleep is, again, 7 to 9 hours, depending on the person, an average. Getting to bed between at least 10 and 6 a.m. an average, depending on where you live in the world or where you're from, because this can vary. And then also, if you just wake up in the morning, you feel rested, it's a good sign. Or if you don't wake up throughout the night, even to go to the bathroom, because a lot of people struggle with waking up throughout the night, right? Between 1 and 3, 1 and 4, they'll wake up and sometimes have a hard time going back to sleep. These are all signs that you have higher stress hormones. So we're going to talk about what are some of the few things that you can do to improve your sleep today, because getting better quality sleep will actually make a huge difference in your life. And then you might end up becoming a morning person.
Yeah.
All right, so number 1.
Nutrition. Nutrition. What you eat throughout the day.
So we talked about this last week, but if you haven't watched the video, basically to keep it simple,
Go back and watch it.
Go back and watch the video. But nutrition is so important. When it comes to sleep, a lot of times people that struggle with their sleep, especially the ones that wake up throughout the night, they don't get restful sleep, is often a nutrition issue.
Under-eating.
Under-fueling, yeah.
Yeah, under-eating is a big one. Low calories. The meals are spaced
low sugar
out.
Or whatever.
Yeah, you're eating at like 9, and then you're not eating again until like 3. Your blood sugar is up and down, out of whack all day, which will lead to, I can't sleep. I'm just not tired.
Yeah.
Your stress hormones rise up at night, and then you're wired again.
There we go. So basically, if you're not regulating your blood sugar, you're not going to have good night's sleep. bottom line. And to regulate blood sugar, you need to eat enough food, you eat enough calories throughout the day. You need to eat it, you need to space it out, and you need to also combine macronutrients together. You know, we talked about this in the previous video, and then later on in other conversations we'll give more details about ratios and all that stuff. But really, most importantly is most people always see they're not eating enough calories. So bottom line, if you're not eating enough, you're going to be functioning under stress, which is going to ultimately affect your sleep. Okay, so that's number one. So nutrition. So we gotta fix that nutrition. So a lot of times when we work with clients, as soon as we start fixing nutrition or helping improving their nutrition, their sleep gets better. It's all connected. And then of course your mental state and your gym sessions are better, you feel stronger, you feel better. So all of this is interconnected, which creates a positive cycle, right? So number two, when it comes to sleep, how can we improve sleep?
Movement.
Nice.
Getting movement, not just being idle and sitting, all day. A lack of movement and too much is not good.
Or poor movement.
You have to find something you enjoy, the balance of something challenging, but something that's not gonna be too simple.
So if you're sedentary, obviously it's going to affect how your body feels. If you are overtraining, it's not going to be helpful because it's going to create more, perpetuate the stress cycle again, especially if you're underfueling on top of that. So finding, I guess like a middle, like a happy middle when it comes to movement and exercise. Okay, so taking nice walks in the sunlight, so you're getting vitamin D, you're getting fresh air, going to the gym 2-3 times a week, sometimes 4, depending on your health state, how you nourish yourself and all this. It's just finding where you are from a health perspective and what actually helps you and not like goes against you in terms of movement. Doing movements that is a little bit more complex too. Yes, we recommend getting stronger, getting in the gym and building lean muscle mass, because most of us are trying to build better bodies, more athletic looking toned bodies, lower body fat. But from a movement perspective, from a brain perspective, you want to be moving. You want to be doing something that makes you happy, that's more complex movements. So like walking, playing, doing sports, dancing, things like that are great types of movement.
Playing around with your kids.
Yeah, play with the kids, play with the dog, things like this. So just moving around in general, like movement is life. So it will make, it will reduce stress hormones. It will help you feel better throughout the day. Will make your brain happier, which, in return will help your sleep, obviously. So that's another component to improving sleep. There's a lot of things that can improve sleep. For example, avoiding drinking coffee after a certain hour. Stimulants, any kind of stimulants, you want to be careful with this, especially if you're under fueling, because drinking coffee when you're not eating enough food is even more stressful on the body and will dysregulate blood sugar. There are certain foods that we don't recommend to eat too much too late at night, too close to bedtime, like red meat or cheese or eggs, because these or carrots, raw carrots, can actually dysregulate blood sugar, also drop your blood sugar. And of course, when you have a blood sugar drop, it increases stress hormones, which will wake you up. Okay, so these are a couple things.
It is person specific, so this might not apply to everyone, obviously, but the thing we want to get across is to test.
Pay attention,
Yeah, and then measure what's going on and what the response you get.
So if you're tracking and measuring your food and you wake up in the morning, you had a really bad night's sleep, like go back and see what you did. Perhaps you didn't eat enough that day, or perhaps you had enough food, but what were the combinations of food? What type of food did you eat?
The ratios, the hours of the macros.
Yeah. So all of this can play a component when it comes to sleep. What else? I wanted to give a tip on, so this is something that we do a lot with our clients. Disclaimer though. One other thing we recommend before bed for our clients is we recommend a little bit of ice cream.
What? I don't want to get fat.
Exactly. But we're not talking about eating the whole gallon of ice cream. When we talk about ice cream, we're talking number one about good quality ice cream.
What's that?
Doesn't contain any added ingredients.
What's added ingredients, like milk?
No.
Soy ice cream? Ice cream?
No, real ice cream with sugar and cream, maybe some strawberries, whatever. Real food.
Egg yolks.
Not guar gum or
they put
carrageenan in the ice cream and all those artificial things that were not meant to or designed to eat. So if you're eating a healthy type of ice cream before bed, and sometimes all it takes is about 2 scoops, 100 grams, 150 grams, depending on the
500.
person. Not 500 grams. Because obviously, if you eat ice cream and you can't stop, it means you're under fueling. So this is called binge eating,
Can't
which
stop,
comes
won't
from
stop.
not eating enough food in the first place. But if you're eating enough calories throughout the day, you're regulating blood sugar, you're spacing out your meals, and you eat something that basically contains a little bit more fat and sugar, a little bit less protein. You can even add a pinch of salt on top of it. It will keep your stress hormones down. It will help you regulate blood sugar throughout the night, and it will help you sleep better. So we've seen people improving their sleep just by adding a little bit of ice cream before bed and make a huge difference. Now, it doesn't have to be ice cream, but we like it, if you can tolerate dairy at this point, then that's a great choice as long as it's a good brand. Try it, see if it works for you. So that's something that we have done, because another myth, and I guess we could tie that in, that people think, another misconception out there is that you shouldn't be eating after like 6 o'clock or whatever, 8 o'clock or whatever time. And actually not eating after a certain time, especially if you're going to be sleeping 8 hours. Let's say you stop eating at 6 p.m.
8 a.m. is after 6 p.m.
So, and then you don't, you go to bed at 10 and you don't wake up until 6, and then you don't have breakfast until 8. That's like 10 hours. Is it 10? 10 hours. I think I can do the math. That's a very long time fasting. You're not dead when you sleep, so your body needs energy.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of shit's going on while you sleep.
And most people are like hypometabolic, and they don't have their liver doesn't have the capacity to hold like energy for that long of a period. So eating a little closer to bed, like a bedtime snack, or it depends on the person. Again, it's person specific, but will help a lot of times improving sleep, just like this for most people, just because they won't spend as many hours without eating. So which again helps regulating blood sugar. So always go back to that. So anything else you want to add? Mindset. Well, strategies. So I would recommend that you guys also start implementing a nice bedtime routine. This is something that we do with clients. We help clients do sometimes. Sometimes it's just great to start like dimming lights a little earlier, an hour or two before you go to bed. Maybe do something that is relaxing for you. So, watching TV or being on your phone right before going to bed is often not a good idea. Blue light will also create more stress and create a stress response. If you stay up past a certain hour, stress hormones may also kick in and get you excited and energized again. So a lot of times people that say, well, I'm just not tired at night, it's because you pass a certain threshold where stress hormones starts kicking in. They come to the rescue and they get you wired, basically. You're basically wired. So it's hard to go to sleep when you're in that state.
What's your routine? What do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
So after I put Gabe to bed, I like to go in my
Your
room. What?
I just said your dad.
No, dad.
No, you gave
Gabe,
your dad.
he's not my dad, my son. After he's in bed, I just... What is this?
I don't know.
No, I just, a lot of times at night, I'll do a little bit of reading with, a dim light in my bedroom, or I'll do some journaling, sometimes a bit of meditation or calm music. So anything that, I just avoid electronics the last, hour, half hour at least before bed and things like that. And I also put a screen, how do you call that? A screen protector.
Like a filter?
A filter on my phone to protect from the blue light. So these are little things you can do if you do have to work at night, because some people do. There are some things you can add to your screens to protect from blue light. There are glasses you can buy also. So there's different strategies like this that are supplemental, but you cannot bypass nutrition. You cannot bypass the hours at which you go to sleep. If you're not getting enough sunlight throughout the day, vitamin D will also affect the way you sleep at night. And keep in mind that the hours, will make a difference in recovery, but also darkness is a stressor. And this is the reason why we are designed as human beings to go to sleep with the sun, right? So in the winter, and when we don't have as much sunlight, people tend to sleep a little bit more, be a little bit more tired, and that's the reason why we tend to keep the same schedule, and we don't have as much sunlight. So darkness is actually very stressful for the body, and just
protect yourself by going to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is also why some people that have night shifts, even though they might sleep 8 to 10 hours a day in the daytime, won't have as well recovery as the people that actually sleep throughout the night. Which, sometimes we know it's part of life, and you might have a job like this, but if this is the case, make sure that you do everything else right. Your nutrition is on point, you're getting good movement, you sleep as much as you can, which will help compensate for a little bit of the lack of quality sleep. All right. Do you want to add anything?
I want to add about kind of mindset and purpose.
Morning, Pat.
So if you're not happy with your life, or you don't feel like invigorated to go out and do something that you love to live, like you know, your purpose basically.
Yeah.
Then that could really like knock you down a few pegs to like not want to get up out of bed in the morning. You know, I'm not like, oh, what do I have to do today? I have to go to work, or you know, something you don't enjoy. Like that really plays a big factor in. I don't like to use the word motivation, but
yeah, it's okay.
Keeping you motivated to get up and get out and start the day versus, let's get 5, 10, 15 more minutes of the bed and then, you know.
Yeah. I like it. So going back to the morning person, obviously when you get up in the morning and you have a reason to get up and you love what you do and all these things, it really makes a big difference. But that goes back to getting to know yourself, working on yourself, taking some time out, create space in your days. Mine is my morning routine. You know, I take at least 10 minutes every morning just to sit in silence and do meditation, and I do some journaling. This is my routine, and I get a clear vision on where I'm going, what am I going to do today. You know, I have direction, so it really helps me. So obviously in the morning I want to get out of bed and I want to get things going. I'm excited about it. So, you know, in general, from a bigger picture, when you're excited about where you're heading, when you have a vision, when you have a purpose, things like that.
I'm excited to get to the refrigerator so I can eat more.
I'm excited to get my breakfast. So when this happens, it makes a big difference, and obviously it's going to help you get up in the morning. But yeah, the whole concept of I'm not a morning person is basically in a nutshell because people are not getting good quality sleep or are also having other habits that are not contributing to their health and sleep, which affects their capacity to just be able to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Stop telling yourself you're not a morning person.
Yeah. That language is a big thing too, because the more you believe it, the harder it is to change it. So yeah, just break that belief first and then start working on the rest. I hope this was helpful. Please, guys, if you watch it later, or just comment below if you have any questions, any other questions on sleep or that topic. And if there's anything you'd like for us to talk about, let us know. We'd love to,
ignore it and talk about something else.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. We look forward to talk to you again next week.
Yes.